Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the OpenRCT2 Title Sequence contest. On this contest, all the players were tasked with building a park which we will use for the next official OpenRCT2 Title Sequence. So the screen that shows when you open the game. Now there were some restrictions to this, players could not use any objects from the expansions and also no custom objects. But other than that, they were really free to make a park as big as they wanted. Of course, it cannot be very laggy for everyone. But yeah, we got some beautiful entries. We got 13 completed entries. I'll start with the one that got the lowest score. And I'll finish by announcing who is the winner of this contest. And some of the best parks of this contest with the highest scores, they will be used to make the next title sequence. Okay, here we see the park that got last place. Now, to be fair, it's not a big surprise that it got last place because, yeah, it was not finished. Well, for a large part, it was unfinished. So we can see lots of paths which were supposed to be here, but which did not really get filled in. And for example, even if we were to take a title sequence scene from this coaster, you would still see these unfinished parts everywhere. Even if we would show this coaster, for example, for people with a bigger screen, they would still see these yellow parts here. So because of that, this park sadly is not really useful for a title sequence. But I do think the creators of this park did a nice effort, and the coasters that they created are quite nice. Alright, then in 12th place we have this entry from ATN. ATN made several coasters. Over here we can see a hybrid coaster which travels through several tunnels. Over here we can see this single rail coaster. And over here we can see another small coaster called Forest Sprite. This looks like an inverted coaster, which also mostly tunnels through the landscape. See lots of tunnels here. And also several other rides here in between these paths. I quite like how these mazes here actually sit at a lower level than the surrounding path. I think that gives quite a cool effect. And we can also see some other rides here as well. And like we often see in Marcel's videos or streams, a rainbow of Ferris wheels. Yeah, I think it's quite a fun entry, and yeah, definitely reminds me of how I used to play scenarios when I was younger. Okay, then we have the entry from Shen Kitchen. Shen Kitchen actually recreated some rides, or maybe it's just supposed to look like a generic Six Flags park. Here we can see a ride called Lasso. This looks like it's themed of one of the Wonder Woman rides, Golden Lasso. I quite like this coaster, especially its support structure that must have taken quite a while to build and looks pretty nice. Over here we can see a stand-up coaster called Puzzler's Payback. Looks like a twist on the name Riddler's Revenge. And over here we have The Dark Knight. Well, that seems based on Batman the Dark Knight. But yeah, I think the layout is quite nice of this coaster. Also the support's really nicely done. The park itself also looks nice, but it doesn't look very finished. Especially, for example, these paths. Well, I know how Shen Kitchen builds, and there should probably be some fences right next to the path here. They were done over here next to the coaster. But it looks like Shen just ran out of time to complete everything. But yeah, there's some nice stuff here. I like these buildings, for example. Some nice shops over here as well. Well, it's also quite nice. But yeah, I think it's just missing that last bit of polish. Okay, here's the entry from Isao. Isao wanted to do a park based on the 7 wonders of the world. But in the end, he could only complete 5 within the time. So I believe this is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Here we can see the Colossus. Not really sure from which. I believe it was from a Greek city. There was this huge statue. And yeah, according to many stories, it would actually sit above the port, or above the gate which the boats use to enter a harbor. Yeah, I think it's really nicely done here with these track pieces and this scenery. There's also several others. Don't really remember which wonder of the world this is. Mausoleum maybe. Yeah, I don't really know. And then this looks like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. And we have the Pyramids of Gizeh. Yeah, I think that it's really cool to do a park based on these wonders of the world. Rides are also quite nice. Yeah, I think it's really nicely done. I think the paths could have used some fences around them. But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea to do a park based on this. I think the landscaping over here in the area which has been built on is also quite nice. Especially like this, yeah, sort of a more lush area. So with some greenery. You can see an alligator here in the water. I also like this part here above the water. Yeah, this is a really fun park to explore. Okay, here's the park from Martin Train Freak. Quite a big park once again. Now my favorite part of this park is the entrance. As yeah, it looks quite big. Buildings here on a bit in the same style, decorated with some gardens. We also have a train passing through over here, and a big fountain in the middle. That actually looks quite nice. We also have several coasters in the park. Here we can see a junior coaster. I like how it, yeah, it's situated here in the landscape. That's quite nice. See a big hyper coaster over here. See a large RMC coaster. The huge first drop. Looks pretty spectacular as well. We can also see a single rail coaster. Called Singled Out. And there's also a big wooden coaster here in this foresty area. So yeah, big sprawling park. And yeah, I will also make these parks all available from my Discord channel. You can find a link in the video description. And there you can also download these parks for yourself. Alright, then we have the entry from Kongoy. Kongoy built this park in what looks like a mine theme. Yeah, I probably would have been nicer if this was a shape other than a rectangle, but of course this is what a lot of scenarios, especially from the RCT1 expansions, look like. So mostly just a square shape. Probably could have gone for a more interesting shape, but still I think the park looks really nice. So single paths everywhere. So Kongoy definitely had scenario play in mind here. Yeah, no fancy tricks. Yeah, everything's just fun to watch. So yeah, if we follow these paths, we encounter this coaster over here, which sits nicely in the middle. Yeah, it's pretty huge. Several nice large inversions. Also a nice section here over the water. Yeah, it's again a really fun park to explore. You can also see a alpine coaster over here. You don't see people build those very often. You can see a hybrid coaster over here. So yeah, just another really fun park to explore. Very nicely done by Kongoy. Alright, next up is the park from Sordid. Oh, I quite like the shape of the park. Well, the park has this big road over here, and over here it's connected to a parking lot, and then here the cars drive through this gate, and there's the actual parking lot of the park, it looks like. And then this would be the actual entrance of the park, so guests would enter through this building here. So it looks like it has a little indoor section with these flying saucers, and here there's a mini golf. Over here there's big gardens. This garden area, I think it looks lovely. Yeah, Sordid also made nice use of these of the visible color, I think. Because here we can see lots of these gardens where only the green part is showing and the top part has been made invisible. I think that gives a really neat little texture. That looks really nice. Now here we can also see some coasters in the park. Over here we have a single rail coaster. I love how this lift hill looks. And it travels through quite a big area here. And there's a lot of nice interaction here with these paths. That's really nicely done. So some great looking buildings over here. Also some other rides in between, like this top spin. We can see some dinghy slides over here, all next to each other. I think that also looks really cool. And over here we have this big, nice looking wooden coaster. And also another dinghy slide. So yeah, looks like there's lots of fun rides over here. The park looks really nice. But knowing Sorted, yeah, he probably ran out of time near the end. And not everything is as polished as he would usually make it, I think. But yeah, once again, a wonderful park from Sorted. Alright, next up is the park from Levels and Gustav Goblin. They made this park in the middle of the desert. The park is all above the water with several islands over here. So here we can see a really nice entrance. Park's called Mirage Springs. So it looks like some piece of the path here are made invisible. Yeah, maybe the path here is supposed to be yeah, looking like it's a little bit thinner, or maybe that's part of the mirage, not really sure. But yeah, the park itself, I think it looks really cool. Of course, first you see this big island over here. It actually has a water coaster here. Not really sure where its station is, but yeah, it's probably somewhere over here. Yeah, it travels around this this big island here, and also travels through it. So at some point, it will most likely pop out of this huge island. Oh yeah, here we can see it travel inside. So the station of the ride must be over here. Yeah, it looks like sort of like a Roman theme or Roman and Greek theme. See a nice little ship over here. And yeah, these buildings here look really cool. I love how they integrated these colosseums into their buildings. You can also see that, for example, over here on this island. It's a little bit glitchy on some parts, but overall I think it looks pretty nice. I think this is really cool. Yeah, of course there's also a big RMC coaster over here. I really like how it travels over this big dome. And I also like how this water coaster actually also comes out of this dome. I think that's a really good usage of this 3D cinema, or this 4D cinema building. What is it called? 3D cinema? 4D cinema? 3D cinema, okay. Yeah, I think it's really cool how they use this building. I think this part actually works great as a tunnel. That's a really neat find. Now, one complaint that I did see from many people is that they would have liked to see some more guests in the park. I did see Gustav Goblin complain that he had some issues with guest pathfinding. So that's probably why lots of guests were removed from the park. There are only 180. And we can see lots of empty or almost empty trains here. So my recommendation would be to always have a few more guests in the park. So you actually have trains that are more or less full. Alright, next up is the park from Dark Raider. Oh, he also made a huge park. You can see a big parking lot here. Sadly, no cars in the parking lot. He probably didn't have time to do that, or not the energy to do it. Hey, here we can see the entrance of the park, and then a big plaza here. And then, yeah, the park just spreads out. It has these great rides everywhere. I thought I recognized this ride. This is actually just called Flying Dutchman Gold Mine. So it's one of the standard rides that you can build. I believe it's originally from Six Flags, or yeah, Six Flags Holland, that scenario. There's also many other rides in the park. Here we have Centurion. Here we have a big wooden coaster. I think this is probably one of the best looking rides in the park, called Bona Fide or Bonafide. Not really sure how it's pronounced in English. But I think this looks amazing. The supports, they look great. And yeah, I just love its location also with all these plants around it in the middle of the water. That's just an amazing centerpiece. You can see some other rides here as well. Here we can see some splash boats. You can see river rapids. Here we can see another big coaster. Yeah, single rail coaster over here. Just a standard shuttle loop. Here we can see a pair of dueling RMCs. There's just so much cool stuff to see in this park. These are called Shock and Awe, I believe. Here we can see a side friction coaster in the corner. So yeah, just a lot of amazing stuff built here in the park. So yeah, once again, you can download these entries for yourself and then you can check them out. Because I can't possibly cover everything there is to see in all these parks and in this video. Alright, then we have the park from Immortal Cactus. Now he also built a park in the middle of a desert. Yeah, there's actually cars in this parking lot. I think that makes the parking lot look quite a bit more complete. You'll see the pair of monorails over here. Here you can see the entrance of the park. I think that looks great. Called Paradigm Palace. He used these signs with an invisible background, yeah, to make this cool text. I think that looks amazing. Yeah, many cool rides in this park, but the centerpiece is this 4-way dueling RMC coaster. Or actually, it's just a launched coaster, which has LIM track and RMC vehicles. But yeah, these trains get launched over here, and it's just so fun to watch them move through the track. So there's 2 orange tracks and 2 purple tracks. I think this part will actually look great for a title sequence. But yeah, it's just really fun to watch all these vehicles duel with each other. And then here finally in the middle they will meet up, but all at a little bit of a different time. And it's just really fun to watch. They even climb up a little bit while they're up here. So yeah, that probably required quite some trickery to do, but it's really fun to watch. Also several other rides here. Here we can see a shoestring ride with these swan vehicles. Here we can see another ride. Not really sure what these vehicles are going to do. They're gonna spin around. Yeah, just another really fun to watch ride. You can see some vehicles spinning around in weird ways. Kind of reminds me of these rides you have that sit on the end of the arm and then yeah, just spin around or do crazy maneuvers like the one in Legoland Billund. You can see a stage where guests can actually sit in one of these boats, and it kind of looks like they're sitting on the stage. That looks really cool. Yeah, just lots of weird and fun rides to watch in this park. I think that's amazing. Alright, this next park was actually made by 6 people. So it's 94 Supreme Posse, Bullpit Warrior, Beautiful Monday, Fitwell, Savvy Adam, and The Brew. And they teamed up to recreate some Blackpool pleasure beats, but they also put in a few rides of their own. So yeah, here you can see the road that leads to the park, and then here is the entrance of the park. Now sadly, there's quite a bit of glitching going on in this area. You can see it, for example, here, where the guests are crossing the path. There's also some of these corner pieces here. So in the title sequence, if we use this park, yeah, we will probably not use this area, because you really don't want to see any glitching when you open up your game. Now there are some really cool rides in this park. Here you can see the big one. I love this support structure here that must have taken quite some time to build, but it looks great. But yeah, they also in general just did a nice job recreating this ride. Also here the support structure looks incredible. You can see it's another ride here called Icon. It's a launched coaster. Yeah, it also looks really fun. Looks like they just squeezed it in here. See the Big Dipper, of course. You can see steeplechase here, a three-way dueling coaster with these horse trains. We can see a Revolution, but looks like it's got an orange and blue color scheme like Iron Brew, called Iron Brew Revolution. A single rail coaster was added here, so as far as I know, Blackpool Pleasure Beach doesn't have that yet. So yeah, this could be a future ride. See several other rides here in the park as well. We can also see a dueling RMC here. Another thing which Blackpool Pleasure Beach doesn't have yet. So this is called Superb National. So this must be their reimagined version of Grand National, which is a pair of dueling woodies. But yeah, I think it's they did a really nice job here. I also love how they put part of Blackpool over here. You can see some big parking lots, and yeah, they just did an incredible job working on this park. So yeah, a really awesome job from this team. And once again, go ahead and explore this park on your own. You can download all these parks from my Discord server. This one will definitely keep you entertained for quite a while. Alright, now there are just 2 more parks remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this contest. Alright, here's the entry from Lurker. Now again, a massive park. I just love how this park is situated here on this huge island. And just wherever you look on the island, it just looks beautiful. You can see this big path cutting through the park everywhere. And everywhere you look, there's just fun rides that have been added here. We can see a junior coaster above the path. You can even see some of these bicycles called skycycles. You don't see people build these very often. There's just lots of rides in between, lots of nice looking buildings. Lots of really nice foliage as well. Here you can see a side friction coaster. A Ferris wheel over here. A rotor drop. Here you can see a pair of dueling alpine coasters. I think that's also really cool. And that will probably also look really cool in the title sequence. You can see a single rail coaster over here. Train is a little bit on the long side, but the layout looks pretty cool. Here you can see some more flat rides. Here we have Spinning Wild Mouse. Here's one of the Enterprise rides. A really cool looking bridge over here. Some more nice buildings. Even have a go-kart ride here. Over here we have a log flume. We have a spiral coaster. It just never ends. Here we have a hybrid coaster, also with a big first drop. Also looks really cool here on this peninsula. So yeah, I think big parts of this island will look great for a title sequence. So yeah, Lurker just did an amazing job here. Really well done. Alright, and here's the final entry. This one is from Enox and Manticore. Now they took a little bit more technical approach than Lurker. So we see lots of tricks here. Here we can see a huge filled parking lot built on both sides. Here we can see a big entrance plaza. I think that looks really good with all these fountains. Also love this giraffe here on top of this. Looks like a rotor drop vehicle. I think that looks really cool. Also with these big flowers. Here you can see the actual entrance of the park. Also looks really nice. Also in several languages. Now and then we enter the park, and here it's just it just looks wonderful. You just can go 3 ways here. You can see the wild woodland. Here you can see the pirate island, and this looks like Babylon. So yeah, park's divided into several big themed areas. Well, here we have the pirate island. I think that looks really nice with this pirate ship over here. Also these river rapids passing around. Yeah, over here we have the wild woodlands. I think that also looks really cool with this dirt path framed by this single rail coaster track. I think that looks great as a barrier. Also a really nice foliage on the side. You can really tell that Inox has built in this park. See an Enterprise over here. And yeah, just many cool rides wherever you look. Here we can see a wing coaster, which has actually been made by putting these, by reversing these multi-dimension coaster trains. So it looks like it's inspired by the layout from the Dutch B&M wing coaster Phoenix. So yeah, first part pretty much looks the same. Here you can see a nice Immelman. And then Phoenix has a big helix over here. Looks like this one also does that. But after that, this ride already goes through the brakes. So Phoenix does a little bit more than this one. But I think it looks really cool. And it's a great use of these reversed multi-dimension coaster trains. So now we can finally make wing coasters using these. Now over here we can see a area in the back of the park. It kind of looks like a spooky area. Lots of dark castles. You can see a maze and a mansion, ghost mansion, haunted mansion. And over here we have the Babylon area, and here we can see a big hybrid coaster. So it looks nice with these footers, also decorated wonderfully. So yeah, just like Lurker, Inox and Manticore also did a wonderful job in this park. And yeah, they just did such a nice job also on the surroundings of the park, the landscaping. There's just fun stuff to see wherever you go, also some backstage areas. So I think this park is just a complete package. And tons of people have also been included in the park as entertainers. Alright, now it's time to reveal which one of these last two entries is the winner of this round. Is it this beautiful park from Inox and Manticore? Or is it the wonderful island from Lurker? And the winner of the OpenRCT2 Title Sequence contest is... Inox and Manticore. Now these last two entries were both amazing. Yeah, I guess people found this park to be a little bit more complete and a bit more technically advanced. But a lot of people also really like the entry from Lurker. I gave both of these entries the maximum score. I thought they were both amazing. But of course, only one of them can be the winner. Alright, yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching all these parks. Once again, you can download them and check them out for yourself. And what we will do now is we will take these parks and we will use them to create a title sequence for one of the next releases of OpenRCT2. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to it. At least I am. And I'm really happy that a lot of people entered this contest and yeah, worked to create some of these beautiful parks for us. Alright, yeah, hope you enjoyed watching these entries. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please consider hitting that like button. It would really help out my channel. And I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.